Hello and a very warm welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about the real estate market in the beautiful city of Lisbon, the capital of Portugal. Now, many people are still recommending this as a good place to put your money in the real estate market. But I'm going to give you 10 reasons why I think investing in the real estate market in Lisbon at the moment may not be as good as you think. So, number one, Lisbon has gone through an amazing boom. So the last 7 or 8 years, prices have skyrocketed due to a lot of people putting their money in this market. So it may not be the best time to put your money in this market now. So real estate prices on average in the city have reached around between 3,500 to 4,000 euros per square meter. Number two, I want to talk about the golden visa ending in many parts of Portugal in January 2022. So what I think may happen is that a lot of money which was being put into these parts of Portugal, let's say Lisbon, Porto, the Silver Coast and Algarve, from January 2022, those who want to apply for this program will no longer be able to put their money into the Lisbon real estate market. So they may actually, instead of purchasing in Lisbon, purchase in other parts of Portugal where the program is still valid. And this may affect the real estate market in Lisbon. Number three, I want to talk about the yields. Now the yields are around 3.5% to 4%. They've dipped a little simply because house prices have gone up so much in Lisbon. Now I'm not saying they're bad yields, but they're really unspectacular. And in actual fact, in the city of Porto, on average, you can get 1% more from your yields than you can in Lisbon. That being said, I still think Lisbon is a good place for doing Airbnb. And as I discussed in my Porto video, the rental tax for doing short-term lets in Portugal is a lot lower than long-term lets, and it's about 8.75%. So please do go to my Porto video where I explain this in more detail. Number four, I want to do a comparative with other cities in Portugal. So if we compare Lisbon to Porto, now wages are around 20% higher in Lisbon than they are in Porto. But I'm afraid property prices are at least 70% higher. So this would indicate that maybe Porto is a better place to put your money. And if we compare Lisbon with Funchal, which is the capital of Madeira in Portugal, wages are about 10% higher in Lisbon than they are in Funchal, but property prices are around 130% more expensive. So again, this would indicate that Lisbon perhaps is not the best place in Portugal to put your money in the real estate market. Number five, let's do an international comparative. So let's pick one. Let's pick France. Now, a lot of people say, amazing, invest in Lisbon. It's so much cheaper than other Western European capitals like Paris. And it's true. So Paris is about 3 times higher per square meter than Lisbon. But do remember, net salaries in Paris are also 3 times higher than they are in Lisbon. So if you compare like with like, there isn't that much difference. And also Paris, for example, is much more densely populated than Lisbon. However, perhaps we also need to take other things into consideration. For example, Airbnb is much easier to do in Lisbon than it is in Paris. And taxation as well is better in Portugal than it is in France. So it's not a completely fair comparison, but it does indicate that perhaps property prices in Lisbon are not that low and it's not an amazing time to get into the market. Number six, let's talk about the unemployment rate. So the unemployment rate in Lisbon is around the 8% mark, which is higher than the national average. And again, this is not a good statistic. Number seven, let's talk about general things about Portugal which affect Lisbon. So the low birth rate. Now, like most countries in Europe, the birth rate is very low in Portugal. Although that said, what I do like is that at least in Lisbon, the population is increasing, albeit slightly, year on year. Number 8, let's talk about the very high government debt to GDP ratio in Portugal. And this has is now over 130%. Now, as you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, I use this as an indicator going forward that perhaps taxes will have to go up to service this debt, and property taxes may go up. And this, again, is not good for the real estate market. Number 9, Portugal does have a wealth tax, and I've explained this in more detail in my Porto video, so please do check that out. And number 10, again, Portugal, as I've explained in my other videos, notably Porto and I think Madeira too, the GDP growth has been pretty unspectacular. Not bad, but unspectacular. Now, I don't want to make this video sound too negative. That Lisbon is an amazing city. Please do go there. Even if you don't decide to buy real estate or look at real estate, please do visit the city. And I'll give you 5 excellent facts about the city. Number 1, it has one of the lowest crime rates in Europe and in the world. And in particular, that's excellent for a capital city. As I said, it is a beautiful city with a lot of Airbnb potential, particularly downtown. And number 3, ties into number 2, tourism has seen a spectacular increase in Lisbon. So it has risen by over 50% between the years 2012 and 2019. And in all honesty, when this pandemic is completely over, I do genuinely believe tourism will go up even further in Lisbon. Number 4, the language skills, as I've explained in my other videos on Portugal, are excellent in Lisbon. Almost every young person speaks excellent English, and there are youngsters who are multilingual as well. And again, number 5, excellent infrastructure. So you've got great healthcare in Lisbon, education system is good, and the transport, as in Porto, is pretty good as well. So if you do decide to invest in Lisbon, where should you go and invest, in which part of the city? Well, the best areas of the city, I'm afraid, are all pretty expensive. So Alfama, which is the heart of the city, the historical area, fantastic medieval streets, but you're going to have to pay upwards of 7,000 euros per square meter, which is not cheap. Maybe what you could do a renovation project. So you'll pay a lot less for that, do it up and do Airbnb. Now, if you want to go for long-term lets, there is an area called Príncipe Real. It's a much quieter neighborhood. It's a very, very elite area, gardens, etc. Lovely area. And as I said, I think it's better for the long-term rental market because it's where the locals want to live. But again, you will pay 7,000 euros per square meter for a good property, more even. You could go to other areas like Barrio Alto, which has nightclubs, bars, shoppings, restaurant, amazing. But again, you're going to pay between 6,000 to 9,000 euros per square meter. Baixa, downtown, lovely area, historical landmarks, shopping, eateries. But again, easily you're going to pay 7,000 euros per square meter. Now, other areas which are a bit cheaper, so you've got Alcântara area, which is the waterfront district. You've got, again, bars, restaurants, shopping. It's not quite as central as the other areas I've mentioned, but it is next to the city centre, fairly near. And you're going to pay maybe 5,000 euros per square meter. So it's not amazingly cheap, but it is cheaper than the more exclusive areas. But an area where I think you could do well is Marvila. So it's a more suburban part of the city, but it is up and coming. The prices are a lot lower at around 3,000 euros per square meter. And I think here you've got a lot more capital growth potential. So it's a lot better for those of you on a lower budget. So my recommendation is this: if you are on a lower budget, Marvila could be the place. It's good capital growth, I think, in the future. If you're looking for good rental, maybe go, and you've got a better budget, a higher budget, I should say, Alfama probably is the best area to invest. Anyway, look, I'd love to know your thoughts. I think Lisbon is a beautiful city, but it's not an obvious place to put your money in the real estate market as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon on the next video. Thank you and bye.